Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh, and today we are going to be talking all about tires, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about the tires that come on the all-new 5th generation Toyota Prius. And if you don't already know, that is everything from model years 2023 on forward. And the reason that we're going to be focusing on these tires today is because, in case you don't already know, the 5th gen Prius uses some really interesting and really unique tires that make it kind of unique in the marketplace, and that owners and anyone thinking about picking up a new Prius should really be aware of before they go into that purchase. So, like many videos, this one started out from a number of emails that I've gotten from you all. If you are new to the channel or just haven't heard, you all can email me at any time at the email here on screen. I love hearing from you guys, and so many of your emails turn into videos that we do here on the channel. Now, for this one in particular, I want to read you this one email specifically because I think this email does a great job of summarizing exactly what the problem is, and then we'll get into all the detail after that. So Alan Velasquez writes in and says, "Hiya Josh, boy have I got a story for you. I'm sharing this because of the last tidbit you mentioned in your Prius road trip video about the Prius using tires that are a strange size. My wife and I bought our brand new Prius Prime out of state because every dealer in our area, which is the Los Angeles and Orange County area there, in Southern California, had a year-long waiting list. We found one in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, that someone had bailed on, and the dealer wasn't charging a markup. We were buying in cash, so the transaction was simple. Fly over, give them the check, and drive home. Well, on the way home, wouldn't you know, we got a flat. So we called AAA, and it wasn't fixable. Some kind of metal remnant sliced into it just enough that the tow driver couldn't fix it and it couldn't be patched. So we got towed to Las Vegas, where we tried a discount tire and 2 different Toyota dealers. The discount tire shop had never even seen a tire in this size and couldn't believe it when they did. The Toyota dealers didn't realize that the new Prius had such an obscure tire size and hadn't ordered any to have as backstock. Luckily for us, we're retired and enjoy Vegas, so we spent a couple days shopping and eating while Discount Tire got a tire sent out to them. But could you imagine if we'd been in the middle of nowhere? No sir, no bueno. So I actually had them order 2 so that I'll have an extra, just like you said you did, and I'll be bringing that with us anytime we travel. We might even do what you said and buy a full 5th wheel too. Josh, I tell you, people need to know about this. Could you do a video explaining this whole situation? You've mentioned it, but shame on me, I wrote you off thinking you were being dramatic. So please do a public service announcement for all your viewers with this wonderful Prius, or about this wonderful Prius with these not so wonderful tires. Be well, stay weird, Alan Velasquez." Okay, well, Alan and all of you else who wrote in, because that's not the only email I've gotten about this subject. This is for all of you. So this is the actual OEM stock tire that comes on the Prius XLE, XSE, and the Limited. And this is a Michelin Primacy all season in the 195/50 R19 size. Now, 195, the first number, refers to the width of this tire here. 50 then refers to the profile of the tire. So this is, as you can maybe tell, this is a pretty low profile tire, all things considered. And then 19 is, of course, the aperture here for the 19-inch wheels that come on the Prius trims that I mentioned that come with this tire. Now, the thing to know about tire width, okay, is 195 in general parlance in the marketplace is a really narrow tire. So our RAV4 Prime, for example, and most other compact crossovers are going to have something like a 225 width or 235 width tire. Our Camry also has a 235 width tire, and then my GX, of course, is a big body-on-frame truck-like SUV. That GX has 265 width tires. So all of those, though, substantially wider than this really narrow 195 width tire. Now, the problem with really wide tires, or even moderately wide tires, so something like what's on the GX, for example, the 265 width tires, is the wider your contact patch is, which is this part right here. So this tread here, this is what's making contact with the pavement. The wider your contact patch on your tire is, the more grip it's got on the road, and thus the more resistance there is for the tire trying to, move itself down the road. The more resistance you have, as you can see, the tire does a great job gripping, whatever surface it's on. the more resistance you have, the more power and energy it's going to take to move the car forward, to peel the tire off the surface of the road and keep the car moving down the road. So again, in a Porsche, that's great because we want as much grip on the surface of the pavement as possible. In the Prius, however, remember, the Prius is all about efficiency. We want to reduce as much of the resistance that the car has, just moving down the road and cutting through the air as possible. That's why we have that really aerodynamic shape. And as a result, the Prius has always had relatively narrow tires. The thing about these, however, when the new generation came out and they brought out those giant sexy wheels, that meant that we had to keep the small tire size, the tire width here, with a pretty large 19-inch opening here for the wheel. That makes this tire really, really unique and really quite odd. In fact, believe it or not, the Prius is the only car in the entire North American market to use this size of tire. It may actually be the only car in the world to use this size of tire, but I know that to be true, at least here in North America. So the issue, as many people have run into, like Alan, and a number of others of you who have written into me about this, is tire shops are going to keep in stock in their back room or in their warehouse. They're going to keep what sells. They're not going to keep tires in stock that only fit on one specific vehicle. And even more so, because the new Prius is so new and there are so few of them on the road, the chances of you rocking up to any Goodyear or Discount Tire or, whatever Costco tire shop you have, and being able to get one of these is slim to none, as again, a number of you have found out the hard way. So that brings me to things you need to consider if you're going to buy the new Prius and use it as a road trip machine, taking it interstate or across the country. Now, in the Prius road trip video, I said the best thing that you can do is to get a full-size extra fifth tire like what we have here. Because the thing is, getting a tire off of a wheel is relatively easy, and the whole process of swapping out an old tire with the new tire onto the wheel, it's about a 10 to 15 minute process all in. The problem is getting the tire there in the first place. So it's easy to do if you have the right parts available. And this is a part that isn't readily available. So keep that in mind. All right, now in the video where I talked about road tripping with the Prius, the other thing I mentioned that you could do if you wanted to go one step further, besides just having an extra full fifth tire, is you could also have a full fifth wheel as well, and then have the tire mounted on there, and then you could take this whole assembly with you on your adventures. And what we have here is the stock tire and the stock OEM Toyota wheel that comes on the base Prius LE and then the base Prius Prime SE. Now, this tire is also hard to get. It is a little bit easier to find one in this size than it is for the big 19-inch wheels, but this is still an uncommon tire size in general parlance in the marketplace. So even if you have one of these base model Priuses or Prii, it's probably still a good idea to have one of these sitting in your garage that you can bring with you if you should ever have a flat. The benefit of having this mounted on a full fifth wheel, however, again, especially for those of you who road trip with your Prius, is that this makes it a heck of a lot easier to hot swap the whole thing, right? So wheel and tire combined onto the car, and any tow truck driver can jack your car up and then take the, the wheel with the flat tire off, pop this whole thing back on, and you are good to go. So having a full fifth wheel and tire is the best thing that you can do if you want to hedge your bets and protect yourself in the event of a flat or an emergency where your tire cannot get fixed. Now, some of you have asked, if I were to do this, right, if you were to have a setup like this where you have a full fifth wheel and tire, this is obviously quite a bit of space that it's going to take up in your vehicle, right? This is no small thing to haul around in the cargo area of your car. The thing is, however, with a full fifth wheel and tire, is the whole cavity of the wheel here is pretty much empty, because the lugs where this is where the wheel actually attaches to the hub of the wheel, right? This sits almost flush down at the bottom. So what you can do is, if you carried the wheel and tire in your car, you actually have a good amount of space in here that you can put things in. And I think in that road trip video with the Prius, I actually did show you, I had this kind of assembly sitting in the trunk of the Prius, and I had put like something in the cavity of this tire. So although it is taking up a decent amount of room, away from your cargo area, you still have some space in here that you can kind of use as like almost like a basket to store things in. And then if you ever really need the tire though, the wheel and tire, it is here for you, and you can just take the stuff out, pull this out, and hot swap it onto your car on the side of the road. All right, guys, and last but not least, let's talk about donut spares, because a number of you have also written to me and asked about whether you could do a donut spare instead of a full-size fifth wheel and tire. And there are a lot of videos out there on YouTube about people adding a donut spare to their brand new 5th gen Prius. The problem for long distance road tripping, okay, is donut spares are not meant to go long distances, and they are not meant to be a replacement in any way, shape, or form for a real tire, like the actual tire that comes on your car. So this one, for example, says right down here, temporary use only. And this is the donut spare out of our RAV4 Prime. I love that our RAV4 Prime has a donut spare, but even this one, as you can see here when we turn it on its side, again, this is an incredibly narrow tire. This is really just to help you limp along to the next town or to a tire shop where your tire can be replaced. And so the thing is, for road tripping, a lot of donut spares, I don't see one on here, but a lot of donut spares will tell you very clearly that they are rated for 50 miles of total travel. And on that journey of 50 miles, you can only go 50 miles per hour. So the problem with that with the Prius is, again, when we go back to the tire size, that really obscure tire size in the new Prius, that 195 with 50 R19 size, is sure, you can have a donut spare in your car that will help you limp along to the next town where you can go to, some roadside Firestone or something. But when you get to that Firestone, again, like we said, chances are they're not gonna have that real unique and specific tire size that your brand new Prius will need. So I think if you're gonna carry, a full spare tire of any kind, you might as well carry a full-size extra tire, because there's no point in having this if it's not going to solve the underlying problem that the Prius has, which is its really obscure tire sizes. Which brings us back to the tire that we started the video with. This is, again, the Michelin Primacy All Season 195/50 R19 tire, and this is what I think most people out there should really consider buying when it comes to protecting themselves against flats and getting stranded in the new Prius. At least get a 5th tire for your car if you're going to road trip it, and ideally put a wheel in here as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. And by the way, if any of you are here in the Austin metro area and you want to come take this tire off my hands, I have been, since we no longer own the Prius, as you may know, we traded it in for our Camry late last year, I no longer need to have this tire sitting in my garage. So any Austin viewers out there who might want to, take this tire and have it for their use, again, write to me at the email on screen, and we will figure out how I can get it to you. And then, yeah, maybe you won't have to spend $265 on a spare tire. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Have a great one and take care.